Welcome to the Crimson Circle Show. Welcome to all of you. We have people listening in from Blog Talk Radio, from the Awakening Zone, and the Crimson Circle website. Not only is there audio, if you go to the Crimson Circle website, crimsoncircle.com, there is also video. If you want to come and chat with other awakening humans, go to the Awakening Zone. There is a chat room there, and you can have fun. Well, they do. They have fun in the chat room. Okay. Okay, well, that's what they do. I wasn't a chat room girl. Now I am. Okay, sort of. Okay, so we're excited to be here. It's already been a crazy year. And you know that because this show was delayed 1 week already because of the craziness of 2014. But we don't care. We're sovereign humans, awakened and ready to go. Are you ready to go? Yeah. Oh. I knew you would give me that kind of feedback. So we're almost ready to go. We're ready for another. I'm so high on the air in here. It's so nice. And not the Colorado thing. I mean, literally the beautiful energy in this room with all these wonderful people. And I can feel all these people tuning in from all over the planet. And that's what they do. I'll try to round this up. Okay, so truly, thank you. And you know, it is lighthearted. It does make my heart light that we can all be here celebrating what we are and the journey that we are all on here together. So thank you for being here. We're here with Jeffrey Hoppe, ready to channel Adamus Saint-Germain. Now that's some serious stuff. And as you can see, for those of you watching, Jeff is moving into that energy now, that combination of the way they blend and breathe and channel. So, are we ready? Yes. Yell and scream, I want to hear it loud. Yes. Okay, so here from Coal Creek Canyon, we're ready to begin. And so with that, I'm going to invite all of us to connect in that most amazing, divine, soulful way. I'm going to ask you, please, to join us in conscious breathing. I invite you to take this moment and to breathe into you. No one can breathe for you, only you can do it. But with each breath, you choose life. You choose life in this now moment with each deep breath. When we stop like this and breathe, each of us, you can feel the energy move and shift. You can feel the energies of Adamus Saint-Germain if you choose to breathe that in. So breathe and open to the potentials of this experience in this now moment. Breathe and receive. Breathe and allow. The music's going to play, and I invite you to breathe with all your senses, to feel with all that you are, your human, soul, and divine. Breathe and feel. Breathe and allow.
Show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. I am that I am. Adamus Saint-Germain. But you already knew that. You already know so much that you don't even know you know. A tremendous amount. We're here in the Discovery series in this Shoud, and it's about discovering what you already know. You've been looking for things you think you don't know, and it's about what you already know. Let's take a deep breath with that, for it's already there. It's already there. It was one of the few music intros I did enjoy, safe and sound, because what you're going to come to know that it all works out, and it's amazing. Overused word. It's awesome. It's perfect. It all works out. It all comes together, and nothing matters. We could end right now. But before we end, let me ask you, 2014, here we are, 10 and a half days into it. Some of you 11. How's it been so far? Really, if you would write on the board, dear Linda, the microphone, 10 days. What's your summary of these 10 days? I can already feel. Don't direct it at me. Some of you have had difficulty and hardship, but Pete, how's it been for you?
Very exciting, tell you the truth.
Yes. Yeah. Would you tell me anything about the truth? And would I know if you were? Yes.
Because I'm not fully ascended yet.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
I'm not fully ascended. Well, I am fully ascended, you're right.
A little confusion there.
Yeah, a little confusion,
Yeah, we'll
right.
clear that up today.
Yeah.
Good.
There's just
good.
a few things I don't know
So
yet.
how has the year been for you? 10 days?
Very good, yeah. I've been reading that Journey of the Angels, and it's been just explosive 7 times now, and each time it's incredible.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah.
say that once again to the camera and the millions who are listening
Okay,
online?
Journey of the Angels. Incredible. It's better than the Bible.
Point number one for the new year.
Yeah.
Point number one for the new year.
Yeah.
Promote thyself. Yeah. Or have others do it for you.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, it is an excellent book. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Any ups and downs, twists and turns?
Yeah, I had a bad virus on the computer, but it's cleaned out now.
Oh, I thought you meant in your body.
No.
But,
No.
You sure?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. No virus in the body. Had to check that out.
No,
Good.
no, that's a good body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Virus in your computer? You had to clean it out.
It's a little difficult.
Stop looking at porn on the internet. That's what it means. Or dating sites. Yeah.
Or delivery sites.
Or delivery sites. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Okay.
Thank you. So, how are we going to summarize that virus?
Virus.
Virus.
You had a virus.
Yeah.
2014. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Cleaned
took
up.
care of it.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Virus. Next. 2014. We're just a few days into it.
Go, girl.
Good, I guess. I mean,
Good's one of those words. What the hell does good mean? Any problems?
no.
No? Anything exciting?
Living day by day, I guess.
Yeah. What's the best day you had so far?
Just being able to
Being
know.
here. Well, I'll just answer it for you. Being right here. That's the best day. It doesn't get any better, right?
Yeah.
Sorry to give you your own answer. Yeah. Anything else about the year? Your mom been nice to you?
Sure.
Oh.
I meant you've been nice to your mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else stand out in the last 10 days?
Not really. I'm really excited to get to know who I really am.
It's an exciting thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom from the mouth of babes. Beautiful, darling babes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
2014. What's going on, Bonnie?
Well, hold it up high.
Well, I just had a little accident.
Little?
Little accident.
Yeah. How did that
experience.
happen? Not all the details, but what were you doing to cause an accident?
Something that I shouldn't have done, but
Well, that's usually what causes that.
reaching too high.
Reaching too high.
Oh.
Interesting. And what happened?
I fell.
Yeah? Something
Knocked
slipped out from underneath you?
Yeah, the shelf that I was holding on
Did
to.
it knock you out?
No.
Wished it had. No, you infuse a lot of energy. Oh, no, it's a good thing. Now we might have to try again. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And how are you feeling now?
Fine.
Were you angry with yourself?
Yes, very,
Absolutely.
very embarrassed.
Why? I don't understand why. I was standing there when it all happened.
You were?
Yes. I tried to reach out, but my hand went right through you. Why were you angry with yourself?
Well, just because I got myself into that bad situation. Here I was, a mess, and my glasses were ruined, and I did it to myself.
Why?
How would I know?
She didn't say, I don't know.
That's
she said,
right
how
on.
would I know?
Audience, was it let her stay, make her go? Let her Okay, they love you,
thanks.
Bonnie.
Thanks.
Even if you haven't loved yourself, they love you. Yeah. Why? Make something up. I'm going to pause right there. Just let's stop everything. If you don't know what else to do, just fake it. Really. Those are masterly words, absolute master. If you're not sure what to say or do or think or act, fake it. Because there is really no faking it. It's just something coming up from within you. But if you're like, well, I don't know, I'm not sure what to do, your energy gets stuck. You go flat. Fake it. Make something up. Lie to me. Because you can't, actually.
Well, it helped me understand that I need to buy a new pair of glasses, so I have a backup.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe something a little more insightful.
You said I could make it up.
Bunny, it's simple. It's simple for all of you. Your dreams, things that happen, just take a deep breath, go stupid, go really simple. Don't try to get mental. It's real simple. You're reaching, you fell. You're going to find out later today what that's all about. You're reaching, you fell. There's a fear. What happens if I reach out? Oh, I'm going to fall. I'm going to break my damn glasses. And my face will get a little hurt, which will heal, by the way. It's okay. It's okay. What to do? Get on that horse again. Reach again. So what if you fall? Buy a new pair of glasses, because eventually you say, this whole thing with falling is really stupid. I'm going to reach and I'm going to fly. That's simple. That's simple.
Thanks. That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Next time, lie to me. Make something else. Make something up, and we'll get the energy going.
All right.
Good. Thank you. Next. Oh, and that's such an important point. It's one of those things. Put it in your the one-page sheet. Tools for 2014. If you're not sure what to do or say, fake it.
Just for you.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah, absolutely. Fake it. So reach and fly. Good. And then put underneath that, reached out and fell. But that's not going to happen again. You'll see.
Do you want me to put a fall?
Reached out and fell, in parentheses. Yeah. Good. Next. Bonjour.
Bonjour. 2014, actually starting the end of 2013, I realized the value or the commonality between love and trust. That was the wrong word, not commonality, but they're one and the same. And the reason is, many, many years ago, I was at an Eastern meditation center, forgive me, namaste, and I spent a good time there, and I had a fabulous year. But what I got, what I knew, not what I thought, but what I knew was that God did not want me to lack, and I knew that. And I was creating things left and right, and I was conscious I was creating long before, I heard this wonderful stuff. But after that time, as time went on, and then I started to learn that this was the God, you understand, that didn't want me to lack.
Yes. Yes.
Herein lies the big difference.
Yeah.
So I trusted God. Who doesn't trust God? And He loves us and we love Him. Well, He's not there, apparently.
No,
or that's
forgot to
something I
mention
don't
that.
get
Yeah,
anymore.
Yeah.
So, on my journey, when I have these awesome experiences, to know that step by step I can trust myself to handle, I noticed that I had a lot more trust in this dude than I have in this dude.
Did you ever meet that dude?
That's an interesting question,
Yeah.
Adamus. Oh, and I realized, yes, I'll answer that.
Yes.
That was me
Uh-huh.
back then.
Yeah. Dressed up like a guy.
Dressed up like a guy,
Yeah. God's a
wanting me
cross-dresser.
to have everything I wanted and giving me everything I wanted.
Yeah.
There's the irony.
Yeah.
I get that, but not here, obviously. I obviously get mentally, that was me.
Yeah. So where are we now with this?
We're with, I love you, Elizabeth. Yeah, pretty much. I love you, Elizabeth. I
Yeah.
trust you, Elizabeth. And a lot of times, amazing things can happen for me if I stay still and centered. But it's fascinating to me, that trust and love that I had back then in another name,
Yes.
and that same being is trying to find it to that depth today.
Excellent. And God becomes personal, not he out there.
Right.
Yeah, there's been an evolution of God. As I've mentioned before, in Atlantis, there was no consciousness of God, no word for it, no discussion, no churches. It just wasn't even in consciousness. It was totally unknown. It wasn't until much, much later on that the concept of God put into many other beings of higher force or power, God of the air, of the sun, of the earth, and all these other things, brought down into one God, but then placed out there as a guy, and placed outside of self. But now is the age where a few, not many, but a few are beginning to understand that God always has been right there. Yeah.
Yes.
And that divine, that soul of self is filled with love and compassion and acceptance, and would love for itself as the human expression to have abundance and joy and everything else. But it kind of doesn't care if the human doesn't pick that.
Right.
Because to the soul, it's just a big experience. It's just grand experience. There really is no death. There's no finality. It's just a big cosmic wow. To the human cares. The human gets all wrapped up in it.
Right.
But imagine now if that soul, that God that was out there now just slowly makes his or her way over, and it's like, let's just do the dance together now. Yeah. You lead.
I'm ready.
Good. Absolutely. Thank you. So how would we summarize that? Integration? What's your word for it? Integration.
Of God's self, perhaps.
God's self, yeah. How about I am?
I am that I am.
I love it. Wow. I am that I am. Yes.
2014. Yay.
Yay. Hey. A lot of changes.
Change,
Yes.
apprehension, letting go of things like material things, letting go of fear. So
Yeah. How's it been emotionally, energetically for you?
draining.
Yeah. Why?
The unknown.
That's
And
it.
everyone's talking about 2014. There's a lot of negativity going on with it.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next weekend.
Yeah. Good. Oh, a lot of negativity. But also from a perspective of what's going on in the world. Oh, what's going on in the world. Absolutely. Yeah, good. You'll do well in your move. And then move again. Yes.
Hi. I get in this space of peace, very peaceful,
Yes.
and then I can feel myself within me, like embracing me. feeling myself. And it's hard to explain. I just feel within. And then at nights, I keep waking up at 3 a.m. and having nightmares.
Yeah.
And friends, family, crossing over.
Would you mind putting some of these down? Let's see, from the previous, we're going to put down just moving and releasing. Moving and releasing. Yeah, here we have a sense of peacefulness, but at the same time, nightmares. What's going on with that? Why?
And then I think that doesn't belong to me because I'm picking up into somebody else's conscious.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
So they're
I never
having
thought
nightmares
about
about
that.
you?
yeah, I'm a serial killer. Yes, but center, I have to be center. No, I have to. I choose to
Yes.
because of
How's
my
your
surroundings.
how is your thinking versus feeling?
It went higher than
Thinking went higher.
it went higher than previous year.
Why?
Yes. Maybe for what's going on
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
my family members and
Yeah.
a lot of things that can be saying that it was a if it was meant to be or things like that. Something funny, my brother passed on September, and we have this other close friend, same exactly date. They birthdays exactly same date, and he just passed on the 26th. I started playing with numbers, and they add up into the same number. And then the day they die, they also add up to the same number. So, and I have to be around for
could I
people.
give you a tool, all of you a tool for this year? It's not going to make sense. Absolutely nothing will make sense. Whether it's your dreams or whether it's what's going on in the world, your thoughts or any of that, it's not going to make sense. So let go right now.
Let go.
Stop trying to make it make sense.
Right.
And what you'll discover in that is the thinking finally kind of slows down a little bit, but the real answers, the real knowingness starts coming up. And it's hard to do because you want to think about it, analyze it, dissect it, try to find if the numbers match or anything like that. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Grand distraction, throw you off the
Yeah.
path, wear you out. You're not going to make sense of it. So let's stop trying right now.
Yes.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
thanks.
So I would say there was drama. Good. Two more.
Adamus, you said the word a minute ago, and I realize that's what I wanted to say. It's perspective.
Yes.
And I don't know what happened. There wasn't an event, but on around the 2nd or 3rd of this year, all of a sudden, I have plenty of money. I've since I moved here a few months ago, I took a cut and pay. I'm a teacher, and you know, about the 2nd or 3rd, it's all gone. Rent, car, yada yada yada. And how am I going to live on? It's just, you know, just a few $100s. I don't know how I can do it.
Yeah.
And I have to borrow money from my savings or my, you know, and I hate doing that. And I have this terrible feeling of lack and how am I ever going to make it? I don't know what happened. It's the same amount of money. And I'm like, hey, okay, that's plenty of money.
Yeah.
And in the last week, it's only been depleted by maybe $40 or $50.
What do you think made the difference? Or what do you feel made the difference?
My perspective. I don't know. Like I said, that I've been thinking about it, feeling about
Your
it. I just
perspective of what?
of need versus want, of
Getting
what's
there.
enough.
How about perspective of life? Just life. And something shifted. You know, you went through moves and changes and that, and something shifted. Something, and you said, actually, I really do want to live. What happens? Then the abundance is there. People will just reach into their pockets. He doesn't have any money today.
Oh, poor you.
Linda took it all, but Linda will give you some later, and they'll just give you money. It's the perspective of life. It's the desire to be here. That shifts, your abundance shifts. Very simple, extremely simple.
It's just exciting, too.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, and do ask Linda for some money.
I didn't take your money. You're not organized.
Doesn't matter.
You're not organized.
One more. And then we'll move on.
I've had a lot of energy the last few weeks,
Good.
and I just like I can stay up late,
Yeah.
and I wake up early, and I may take a nap or two, but it's a lot of energy. And on the feeling side, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
feelings are coming through so tremendously, and so then as far as experiences go, I had a conflict with a friend. And while Linda was riding in the wind on Thursday, I was up in the wind in the mountains with this friend I had a conflict with. And it was really cool because I didn't care that we had a conflict. I was like, you know, we're up here together. Let's just enjoy the beauty of it. Even though it was windy, it was still beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of things that are happening, it's hilarious.
It is. It is.
I mean, you know, you talk about the traffic jam. I
Yes.
mean, how can people not wake up and see
Oh,
that
don't ask me the many reasons.
and see that they're getting the same old thing?
Yes, absolutely.
So-
Yeah. Good. So we have energy here.
Yeah.
And there is an abundance of energy, tremendous, more than ever before. Don't get caught in the thing of lack. More energy. And the interesting thing is that I'm going to say that this year is going to be the year of coming from left field and right field and behind the bleachers. It's not what's obvious right up front that's going to be making the difference. It's all of the things coming from out of left field, out of odd and strange places, unexpected places, whether it's money in your pocket or an opportunity. You see, and if you're thinking about everything, if you're trying to make it make sense, you might miss the opportunity, probably not, but it's just going to be a little bit more struggle getting there. It's just going to come out of left field. On the same token, for the planet, the things that are, oh, thank you, by the way, don't mean to keep you standing. The things that are going to keep you, for the planet, things are going to be disruptive, are going to come out of left field. Everybody's expecting, with anxieties, something's going to happen at the Olympics, right? World attention, world focus. Probably not. Probably somewhere else. It's going to come out of the dark, so to speak, out of little expected places. So we have a list here of different things going on, and there is a lot of anxiety right now. There's a lot of pent-up energy waiting to be released. There's breaking of patterns is one thing you're going to notice, obviously, here even with the meeting. Breaking of patterns. Don't go into some crisis about it, because it's just a realignment of energy, that's all. And it actually realigns back in a way you couldn't have even planned in your mind to have the outcome so good. So there's an immediacy of the panic. What's going on? What's happening? Take a deep breath, 2 deep breaths, and realize it's a realignment that's going to bring things to you in ways you couldn't even think about or imagine. And then you're going to go, wow, Adamus is amazing, awesome. And I'm going to know, actually, you are. You are. If you want to summarize the year, and really into the next 3 years total, look at it from the perspective of 2 things that are happening on this planet. 2 of the most important elements on this planet, maybe in the whole cosmos. And those elements are power and freedom. We've talked about it before, but now when you see something happen in the news, take a look at it from what's happening to power, what's happening to freedom in your own life. and I've talked to key hawkers about this recently, releasing power in your life. Oh, it's confusing and scary. Well, how can you release power? And the interesting thing is you can't release just a little bit and hold on to a little bit. You release it all together, the need for power. Power is an illusion. It really doesn't exist anywhere other than in a belief system. Power is about the accumulation, the getting of energy, the fear that there might not be enough energy for you. Biggest number one human need is not food or water or money or sex. It's for energy. Energy. It then manifests in these other forms, but that is the number one human need, is getting energy. People do it through power. They think they have to force it, struggle, steal it, manipulate it, accumulate it, or anything else. Imagine going without power. It seems frightening because you live in a world that's filled with power. It's filled with people who play with power, who have used power on you, mental power, financial power, physical power on you. You say, how can I go without power? I won't have any defenses against this crazy, sometimes insane world. The fact is, without power, they're not going to see you. They play power, and that's all they see as power. When you release the power game in your own life, you become invisible to them. In other words, they go to somebody else to steal, to do all their power things with. You are then free. You don't have to play the game. They're not going to be coming after you. This year is about power and freedom in your own life and in the world. It's going to be about you giving yourself that freedom that's inherent within you, but you have a lot of overlays, a lot of issues, a lot of everything else that you've taken that very freedom away. Freedom sounds wonderful, but it's a tremendous responsibility. It sounds, oh, I'm going to be free, but free of what? Well, most of the time you think free of paying bills, free of having a boss, free of governments. But the real freedom is within, free of your past, free of your beliefs. Beliefs are kind of like power. They're an illusion. They're made up. Not that they're bad. They're a fun tool to play with, but at a certain point, they get old. That's freedom from beliefs, freedom from limitations. And again, while that sounds wonderful, it is a tremendous responsibility. Many people who are given the choice of freedom will find a lot of excuses not to accept it, not to take it. Those, to me, are the issues for 2014. There's going to be a lot going on in the world. Come back, though, to the underlying fundamental reasons for it. It's power and freedom. Let's do a little experience here. I said before when I came in that you already know everything. You really do. You just don't know that you know it. It's already there. The mind has a hard time embracing that. It says, but I don't know. There's facts and figures. No. I'm talking about knowingness. You already have the knowingness, and it's there. It's there, and it's ready to come through anytime you are. Let's do an experience with that. I'll ask for the lights to come down, some nice experience-y, mirabi kind of music to come in, and maybe a little fresh air from the back door here so we don't all burn up. Okay, take a good deep breath. It's an important point for this year, for any year. Knowingness is already there. It doesn't come from me. It doesn't come from that God that Elizabeth was talking about. It's already right there. It's not in your belly necessarily. It's in your moment. It's in your I amness. It has the answer to everything, even if you're faking it. It knows where to be at the exact right moment. It knows how to bring in the exact right amount of energy at the exact right moment. It is trust. And it is love. And by the way, this year, if you're having a difficult time loving yourself. I guess that is a pretty big leap for some. At least just be kind to yourself. Start with being kind to yourself. Some of you have tried to love yourself and found it to be rather challenging. How about just being kind to yourself? Giving yourself a day at the massage spa. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. A nice dinner where you don't worry about the calories or the carbohydrates or the sugar content. All those diets. Oh. Being kind to yourself where you're not being so critical and judgmental, doing the what if and what I should have done. Being kind to yourself. If you fall when you're reaching, you laugh. Say, what an experience. Instead of beating yourself up. Kind to yourself by going out and buying yourself something nice. I mean, really nice. I mean, really, really nice. Yeah. Yeah, Mercedes, sure, Mercedes. Something nice. That's being kind to yourself. Now your mind is going to say, I'm being foolish and I shouldn't spend the money. Spitting a lot over there. No, because when you're kind to yourself, you buy something for yourself without guilt and without sharing it with anybody else even. You're buying it for you. Suddenly, all the abundance is there. Simple and amazing. Kind to yourself by upgrading, as modern society calls it. Don't settle for the cheaper apartment or house. Don't settle for lesser. Calder is telling me, go to Nordstrom's, not to Walmart. So now let's take our journey. Knowingness is already there. It's not going to come from a mental basis. In other words, you're used to this tingling sensation in the brain when you think about something. You trigger something in your brain. You think about the future, next year, next month even. Your brain goes to work trying to figure it out. Forget about it. We're going to come into the knowingness. Knowingness is the answer that's already there. The solution, it's already there. You're not going to hear a voice. You're not going to all of a sudden do automatic writing, and you are not going to be contacting your spirit guides. They left a long time ago. Couldn't stand the pressure. They left. It's going to be you. You're not going to get a flashing neon light in your mind. Knowingness is very subtle, but very balanced. Knowingness don't always show up when you think they should show up. They show up at the exact right moment, and you just know what to do. When that knowingness comes, you'll feel it. Don't doubt it. Do something. Move. Take action. Do something. Let me give you an example of the knowingness. Let's go on a little journey. Let's go on vacation. Yes, you by yourself on vacation. You're back home, you're packing your bags, selecting clothes from your wardrobe, realizing you haven't bought much of anything in a long time, but it doesn't matter, pack what you have. Yes, some underwear. You probably won't need deodorant because you're not going to be around anybody else. Some shorts, t-shirts. You don't need a whole lot. You're going to someplace nice, all by yourself. When you think about, the kids and my husband and my job, to hell with it. Forget about them. They probably haven't told you, but they want you to leave for a little while. So pack your bags. Yep, close them up good and tight, and make sure you have your passport. If you don't have a passport, just make one right now. You soy el punto. Make it. Do it right now. Yeah, there, see, passport is there. Oh, and look at the airplane tickets are there. Open them up. I know you don't use tickets anymore. You do it on the internet, but just play with me. Open the tickets up. Yeah, incredible. They're first class tickets, courtesy of Adamus. Yeah, why not? Oh, and you look at, you're flying the Masters airline. You didn't even know it existed. You thought you had to put up with United. No. Masters airline, first class, just for you. Take the limo to the airport, and not one of these taxi cabs with 8 other people crammed in. A limo, just you. Look up to the front of the limo. It seems like it's about 2 blocks long, but you look up and a glass window right behind the driver folds down. Look, it's me, taking you to the airport. Get to the airport, you're first class. You don't have to wait in line. Whisk right through. Get on the airplane. Huh, nobody else there. Just for you. Of course, the cockpit door opens up, and a head peers out from around the cockpit, and look, it's me and Kathumi. Oh, you're safe. Kind of. Take a good deep breath and let's get underway here. Let's take off for regions unknown, like no place on earth. But yet it's warm and it's sunny. Beaches, palm trees, margaritas and Mai Tais. We get there, beautiful, beautiful bungalow, just for you. It's almost the size of a city itself. We call it a bungalow. It's casual, it's easy. There's people there waiting to serve you. You see, because the master allows others to serve them, allows energies to serve them. They're there taking care of everything even before you know you need it, whether it's just a glass of water or a meal, extra toilet paper, whatever. They know it before you even realize you need it. When you sit down for a moment, just looking out at the beautiful ocean, this beautiful place that you've gone on vacation, that's one of those wow moments. Wow. No guilt, no worries, just wow. That's what life should be about. Absolutely, 100%. No compromise what life should be about. Because here you sit in this paradise. Everything is there. Everything is there. And you feel at peace with yourself. Finally, you feel like you deserve it. You deserve it. Didn't come at the expense of anybody else. You deserve it. You needed to rejuvenate your body. You needed to get out of that frantic, crazy earth energy for a little bit. You don't have to do anything on this vacation. You don't have to try to get it together or go on some diet or meditate or anything. You just get to enjoy anything you want. You sleep in late because it feels so good to feel that warm breeze coming in the open window. You get up, take a walk on the beach, eat a loaf of bread, warm baked bread with plenty of butter and jam. Have an extra couple of cups of coffee without worrying about it. Oh, this is what life is supposed to be about. Walk into the village, everybody's nice to you. treat you with honor and respect. First time that's happened in a while. Suddenly realize that you want some new clothes and you buy them without worrying about where the money's going to come from. That night you go to a party, you were invited by some of the locals, you have a blast. You feel comfortable and relaxed. You dance, you drink, you eat, you laugh, you tell jokes. People gather around you, they're smiling, they're coming to you with their problems and their crap. They just like being around you. Take a nice, easy stroll back at the end of the night. That warm, tropical air. Not even worried, is somebody going to jump out from a side street and assault you? Not at all, because you're safe. Go back home, lay down, and go into the most beautiful dream. A dream of the I am. No chasing, no combat or wars, no regrets or remorse, and no forgetting your high school locker combination number. Just a beautiful, peaceful dream of the I am. Suddenly you wake up from that dream and you realize it's not a dream at all. At all. This I am is the reality. You realize that all the rest of it was a dream. All the rest of the struggles, all the rest of that limited life, the forcing and the struggling and the thinking, that was the illusion. This dream of the I am is what's real. You have this inspiring moment. You rush to find pen and paper. You didn't bring any with you, but suddenly it's just there. First drawer you look in, and you start to write. In your inspired moment, about the dream that's real, about the I am, about the knowingness, about everything being there at the right moment, about a life without power, force, or struggle, about a life of loving yourself, about a life of abundance, and a life of answers, not questions, a life of joy and freedom, not one of limitations. You write and you write and you write, all on the hand, not on a computer, but by hand. You write of the simplicity of everything just being there. You write of the connection with the I am, the fact that this isn't a philosophical discussion, this isn't a concept, this isn't some new age jargon. This is real. It's there, it's you. Always you. You write for what seems like days, but there's no stress or struggle. The words flow out onto the paper. There's such joy in writing this, staying connected with it. That after a few days, it's done. At the end, you sign off. I am that I am. Take a deep breath. It's time to go back now. In a few days, time to go back. So you take your manuscript, your handwritten manuscript, take it down to the post office. You address it to yourself. You drop it in the postage. You send it back to you. You take a good deep breath and enjoy your few remaining days in paradise. Just breathing, just doing what you want to do. After a few days, time to return home, back in your private airplane, back in the limo that takes you back to your house. You get back to your house, and of course, your package is there waiting for you. You walk inside, you realize you're back in that old world, your house, that wardrobe, the closet without a whole lot of clothes in it. Some of the broken things around the house. For a moment, you have a bit of despair, anxiety. Oh, back to this old world. Then you remember that package, your manuscript, and you open it up. And you start reading. It's all there. It's all right there. All that wisdom you wrote to yourself. You smile knowing that this is all you need. It's all right there. All the knowingness, all the answers, the solutions. They're not mantras, they're not affirmations. They're truth that you wrote. You take a good deep breath. And you realize that you'll never need anything again. It's all right there. You already know it. Let's take a good deep breath. So I use this example of taking a little journey, writing to yourself. Well, you've already done that in a way. The I am, the soul. We can have the lights back up. The I am, the soul's already done that. You've done that. Well, I've talked about it before where it's like, it's this Merlin effect. Like you could say we're being smoked out of here. We could please get some fresh air. It's like the Merlin effect. I think we'll need to open the side door here. It's already there. And let's not call it the future, like as in tomorrow or next year. Let's just say that it's already there. You already wrote this manuscript with the truth, with all the knowingness. All you have to do is take a deep breath and realize that it's there. I started today saying, all the knowingness, you already know it. It's already there. You can't think your way into it. You can't say, now, what is it I already know? You just, I already know. That's simple. I already know. And then it's there. And it's there. Okay, let's take a deep breath with that. Please, please, for this year, for the rest of your life, remember, it's already there. You're not going to hear a voice. You know we're getting serious now, Edith. Yeah. You're not going to hear a voice. You're not going to, don't ask for lightning bolts. That is so 100 years ago. Don't ask for a sign. I'm going to have to, you get a sign, and it'll be me with my foot right up your backside. Stop asking for signs and stop using pendulums and stop using anything outside of yourself. Clear? You say yes now, but how much more clear can I say it's already there? It's not in your gallbladder, it's not in your eyeball. It's all around you and it's all inside you. It's already there. As long as humans keep trying to find answers outside of them, they'll continue searching and seeking and being limited. The minute a master says, it's already there, it's already there, then it is. It's that simple. Call it, I don't care if you call it faking it, whatever. It's the active consciousness. The active consciousness is, it's already there. Then it has to become so. It's a universal principle. It just is. It's the I am that I am. Then it becomes so. Not involving other people. Don't do it for them, and that's about 90% of the problem, is you make it dependent on other people, or you try to pull them into your whole experience. But for you, it's already there. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Do come back to that. You may want to isolate that, Rob, on a video, and yes. Okay. Getting ready for our next segment. I would like a little cafe with cream, please.
My pleasure.
Yes. See, it's already there. I'll leave that here, too. We're going to have both. That's for Caldra. The coffee's for me. Caldra drinks whatever that swill is. I drink coffee. Good. It's already there.
It's coming.
Okay, let's take a good deep breath as we move into our next portion of the discussion. Everybody comfortable? Little, you're cold?
Yes, my nose is cold.
Yeah, your nose is cold. David will warm it up for you. Oh, what? Last month we talked about how does it end? How does it end? Did you feel into that at all? Any confusion? As for Yeshua, it ended on the cross. And there's a lot of stories what really happened, but he really did leave the physical body. He didn't die for your sins because you hadn't committed them yet. Did he know you were probably going to? Yes, but and if he had known, he'd have died a lot more dramatically because he would have known you were really going to sin bad. So he didn't die for your sins.
There's no such thing as sin.
There is no such thing as sin. That's why he didn't die for your sins. But he did die for you to come back, to incarnate back on earth. He left so you could come in. My opinion, but I also think it's pretty factual. He left so that those who would become the new masters would come in. So in a sense you could say the second coming of Christ, the Christ consciousness, the second coming, the incarnation, so that you and you and you, well, you and you and you and you and would reincarnate, would come back at this time right now. So for him it ended on a cross, and he did show up later energetically. He rose from the dead, integrated his body, but he showed up energetically just to remind the apostles and to remind all that there really is no death. It keeps going. But when I ask the question, how does it end for you? It's like this. I'm leaving. And you can come with me. We've gotten to the point where there is enough consciousness in enlightenment. There are enough Shambra who have absolutely allowed it to come into their life. Enough of you who have said, we are going to the next level. That I'm leaving, going to a different strata, a different dimension, you could say. I talked before about waiting for just 5. There have been a couple, actually. But what's been even more impressive is the consciousness within each and every one of you has gotten to the point that it's going to happen. That critical mass has been achieved so that all of us, or all of you who choose, can go to this next level. So it ends. The awakening portion ends. We go to the next level, and that is the mastery portion. Sounds great. Tough in a way, but yes, indeed, great. So I say it ends because we're not going to be talking about the basics of awakening. I'm not going to be having any tolerance for self-doubt or self-loathing. There's not going to be any allowing of this doubt, which is really actually very self-indulgent. Doubt is extremely self-indulgent. It is a human luxury. Hopefully you're beyond. We're going to go beyond the doubt. We're going to go beyond the processing. We're going to go beyond the toe dabbling, the just tinkering with awakening. And I'm asking for those who want to come to this next level to join me. It's going to be about mastery, absolute mastery. I'm going to come to those who are going to go with me. I'm going to come as the master, but I'm going to expect that you come as the master also. In other words, no, I don't know. No victims. No energy feeding. No power. So, my dear friends, you have the opportunity. And again, it doesn't matter. This is not about numbers or anything. You have the opportunity to come to this next level. It's going to be, I hope, exhilarating on one hand. It's going to be tougher. I'm going to have no tolerance for those who are still victims, for those who are still thinking about awakening. It's mastery or nothing. Mastery or nothing. I'm going to ask you to take a moment to feel into it. Are you ready for it? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You'll have many more opportunities with other groups. Doesn't matter if you say, doesn't quite feel right now. I'm going to do something else. I'll give you names, recommendations for other groups. And this is only for those who truly are ready to walk as masters, as free masters in this lifetime. And that's it. So we're going to do something here in just a moment. We're going to act this out. I'm going to ask everybody to leave, other than a few of the technical crew who need to stay. I'm going to ask everybody to leave. Then, if you're ready, you're willing to come to this next level, if you're ready to let the old end, if you're ready to let that old human journey and the awakening and the processing and everything else, you're ready to go on as a master, I'm going to ask you to come back in through this door over here. Leave through that door, come back in this door. If you don't feel it's appropriate for you right now, that's fine. Then just hop in your car and leave. Or if you rode with somebody else, then you have to walk. But it is time. There is such a beautiful, critical mass, I call it, of the Shambhala consciousness. And it was brought to my attention recently at the Ascended Masters Club. I was there for an evening of playing Russian roulette, one of my favorite games. Well, there's no consequences. It's just fun. You have consequences, we don't. And one of the Ascended Masters asked, well, how goes that Shambhala group? So I thought, I'll really check into it. I'll really feel into it. And along with Katumi and Tobias and Archangel Michael and Raphael, we felt into it. And it even surprised us, delighted us. We felt into each and every one of you. Where is this entity called Shambhala? Where are you? That there was such a critical mass, such a passion and desire. We said it's not about just 5, although a couple already have. It's about where you're at. That's when I said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving so that I can now work with the masters. I thought it was going to be just a few. I think it's going to be a few more than that. It'll be tough at times because you aren't going to be able to go back to some of the old games, and I'm going to call you on it, more so than even now. It's going to be tough because I'm going to demand that you're abundant. No excuses. I'm going to demand that your biology is together. No excuses. No more I don't know. That's a surefire way of getting thrown right out. Like I say, if you don't know what else to do, just fake it. Fake it, because it's really not faking it. So let's take a deep breath. It's a big moment for Shambro. Big moment. Now, and let's do this without talking or speaking. It's the opportunity to walk out. And it's symbolic of walking out of the old ways, the old life, the old excuses, the old limitations, and walking back through that door as a master, ready to go into 2014. And mark my words, 2014 is going to need some masters. Walk back in as a master. We'll go from there. Good. So take a good deep breath, all without talking. Don't get your jackets. Don't do anything. Don't put on your shoes. Don't take anything with you, just what you're wearing right now. No talking. Please, we'll ask the crew here to clear the doorway for the new masters that are going to be coming through. Deep breath. How about some nice music? Come back in when you're done. Sit back wherever you want quietly until we see who's going to join us. Thank you. And John, the music that you played on the break, please, at the break time. And if you're at home, listening in, please do the same thing. Walk away from your computer, walk outside. Take a moment outside to ask yourself, are you ready for this? It doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong, but are you ready? And if you are, come back in as the master. So it's amazing what responsibility you accepted, whether you realize it or not, when you walked back in through that door. What amazing, oh, and that's another metaphor. Doors appear exactly when you need, and they close then exactly when you need. It's amazing. Who would even know there's a door there? The amount of responsibility you accepted when you walked in that door as a master probably isn't fully yet aware within you. What a tremendous amount of responsibility. Good to see so many of the seats still filled. So much so that each and every one who walked back in through that door would like to gift you with an Adamus Award. Hey, it's the symbol of ascension. It's the spade, which is also about ascension. It's the heart as well, depending which way you turn it. So, dear Linda, do you have Adamus Awards today?
Oh,
I
yes,
should
sir.
hope. Anyone who walked back in through this door. Now, while Linda's doing that, let me explain how it works to everybody listening in online. Dear Michelle is going to set up a web page in the Crimson Circle store. By noon tomorrow, it will be live. Master Michelle. By noon tomorrow, it'll be live. Anyone who has accepted the mastery of themselves, anyone who is going to be going with us, letting the old end, coming into the new, you can request, you can sign up in the store to receive one, just one. It's all you need, one Adamus Award, the symbol of enlightenment and ascension. There'll be listen carefully, Linda and Michelle.
I don't care. You do whatever you want.
There'll be
You're the master.
absolutely no charge for this. It's my gift to you. There's no shipping fees, no anything.
You go ahead and talk to our business manager. I have no problem.
Just one. Just one, please.
Sir?
And it's only for those, please no interruptions, it's only for those who have accepted themselves as masters, who are ready to walk as masters and take the responsibility as a master. Not about if you're thinking about awakening. That's happened a long time ago. This goes to the next level of intensity, a level of beauty. So by tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon, Denver time, this will be available for ordering on the website. Please allow 3 to 4 weeks or more for delivery. Calder's telling me this. No charge. No charge whatsoever.
You're going to create the inventory?
Boom, done. Already sitting there, waiting. So, and it doesn't matter where in the world you live. You have up until the day of our next shout, of our next gathering, to do this, to get your enlightenment pin. After that, no more free pins. After that, there'll be $2,500 each or something. They'll be expensive. For 30 days. And this is going to tell me who is going to go forward, move forward. Are there going to be 50? Are there going to be 100? Are there going to be 10,000? I don't know.
Today?
This is going to tell me I don't know yet. You got me. You want me to leave?
Oh, you got one. Okay. You have one?
Want to get you?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Careful of the coffee in there. Master,
You have one.
go ahead.
Let's all go together forward on this trip. Everybody. Do I look good up here?
Yeah, real good.
No comment.
Thank you for bringing us into this.
You bet.
Thanks for your help all the
You
time.
say thank you now, but
I'll be cursing you later.
yeah.
That's fine.
No, actually, we're done with that. We're done with a lot of the difficulties and challenges. There's going to be times where you are going to need to have time for yourself. I'm going to outline that later, but 3 days a month for yourself, you will need to have. You're going to have to rebalance the body and the mind and integrate. And I know you're going to start thinking that, how am I going to possibly work that out? But the Master just does. It just works out. Just works out. That's why we did a little trip like we did today. So, dear Shambhala, we'll see how many write in for their pins, how many are going to go forward with mastery. Delighted that each and every one of you is sitting here wearing the pins, holding the pin. And for me personally, it's an honor because we started together in September 1999 with this group of spiritual pirates, and wasn't sure what I was getting into. And I'm really not sure now, but the fact that you have this determination, this, let's call it a passion, this now or never. I'm going to do it in this lifetime. It's truly a light that's shining. I'm ready to move forward. The other was getting sometimes a little monotonous. Thank you. Now we're ready to move forward. So how does it end? It ends just like this. It ends with saying farewell to the old ways, saying farewell even to that awakening human, and becoming the Master. So with that, my dear friends, a reminder that between now and our next gathering, interesting things will happen. And as they do, never forget that in all of creation. Thank you, and blessings. Blessings. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you for being here for the Crimson Circle show. Whether you saw on crimsoncircle.com or listened at theawakeningzone.com where there's a chat room, or you found us from Blog Talk Radio. Thank you for being here with us. This is a moment of mastery, and I invite each of you to stay with your mastery, if that's what you choose. So please, be with that, breathe with that, and celebrate life. We will be back here, same time, same place, I hope, on February 1st, 2014. So thank you to Adamus, Saint-Germain, and Jeffrey Hoppy for being willing to stand up and be that master. Thank you to our staff and all of you listening and those of you here. Thank you. Thank you very much.